Welcome back, gamers, to another tier list. The last one was an absolute banger, amazing success, millions of dollars in revenue, and we decided to follow it up. What's the next best thing after hero? Reinforcement. We got all here today. The Lego Droidica, the Lego Wookie. This is all exactly how they are in the game, and sending it off to Cullen. What's up? How you doing today?
Alright, yeah, what's going on? Send it
All
off to Brendan.
right.
How's it going, Brendan?
I'm gonna ask the same exact question as Colin. So how's it going?
Alright, let's just start the freaking tier list, okay.
Sure.
So Droidica. These guys are actually really cheap,
Okay.
considering they're pretty good. They're really good at flanking, you know?
Yeah, they're definitely good at that, especially on I always notice in supremacy, like when you're on the ship, they're like often when you've gotten to the section where you got to destroy things, Droidicas will just be going all over the place, and that's always
Yeah, you know,
definitely.
it is sort of the thing where you had to know how to play them, because if you just like roll straight up to a guy, they're gonna like kill you or deal away like most of your damage before you can pop your shield. So you gotta like hit them from the side where they can't see you and then start blasting them away.
I mean, like their gun definitely is just not good. I mean, it's not that bad, but it really just does not do a lot of damage. But sometimes the gun pretty much is one of the weaker parts. Its shield, it's pretty good. I mean, unless you got a few people, you're pretty solid. Unless you get too close and you waste some
Yeah,
time. Otherwise,
I think it's very situational, but I think in the situations that it works, it really kicks butt. I'm thinking B for the Droidica.
base fair.
Same. I mean, I think I could be an A if it didn't take half an hour for it to stand up.
Yeah. Next up we got the Clone Commando. This guy is definitely one of the better reinforcements, in my opinion. I think, you know, his grenade launcher can take down tanks pretty easily, which is always super helpful in trooper modes. Well, I mean, he's only in trooper modes, but you know, he's got a nice gun. I like his little push thing. All of his abilities are pretty solid. He looks kind of dope, but I know that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Um, I'm thinking between S and A.
It's like
I'd
I think A. I mean, he doesn't really have any big flaws. I mean, like his
I would
gun.
like I
I'd
would
say,
like I would like his gun to be a little bit more precise.
and
Sometimes
also his gun has a big problem for some reason. It works in the opposite direction or something. I don't understand. I don't know how to
because
describe it.
it's
Yeah,
ammo based,
exactly. It
not
doesn't.
like about
It's
overheating.
Yeah, but it's exactly, and it's cringe because it like the bar goes down, and that doesn't make any. That's
yeah.
not right. So that's
I,
A tier for me.
I'm thinking A tier as well. What about you,
Yeah.
Brendan?
I mean, I'd say S because the damage reduction makes it have like it can take like a lot of damage. I mean, if you guys say A, then
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
A. I think there are definitely better ones.
Yeah.
Next up we got Wookie Warrior. The Wookie Warrior, I'm just kind of underwhelmed by the Wookie Warrior, if I'm being
Wookie
honest.
Warrior, it's like it just kind of sucks. I mean, it's not that bad. It's just kind of just isn't good. I mean, like honestly, as just
Yeah,
like a normal infantry, if you get a sneak up, you'll probably kill him. I mean,
I,
if they're
I,
pretty competent.
I really don't have that much to say about the Wookie Warrior. um, it's just kind of underwhelming, so I'm thinking C or D.
I'd say C because I mean,
They're not really
like
bad. They just really aren't good at really anything.
Yeah, I
They're
mean, you
just
can
kind of like
play them, you know? Like, they're, what's their price again? I think that also,
I think it's the more expensive one out of the Rebellion.
it's an enforcer, which is I think 1,500 usually.
I think it's one.
okay, that's not too bad, but
Like he just doesn't really do anything like helpful. You'll never really be going off as a Wookiee warrior. At best, you'll just be kind of
mhm.
playing as the Wookiee warrior and having a fine time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think C or D for him.
Yeah.
Calvin, what would you say?
I mean, I kind of think I think C is right, but I honestly kind of I mean D is definitely either are pretty fair, but
One thing I
I'll
say
just say
about
C.
this guy is that I barely use him.
Yeah,
But
because he's just not that helpful. He's not
yeah.
any of your first choices.
Yeah.
Moving on.
All
I
right,
mean,
next. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd agree with C just because he's not. There's nothing really wrong with him. It's just nothing really great with him.
He's like a low C, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
Next up we got the
Imperial rocket.
Imperial. Let's do all the rocket, like the base rocket. Or wait, these are no. Actually these two are different. Sorry, Imperial rocket trooper, and are the Rebel one the same?
That's the. Is that the Rebel one or is that the?
The Rebel
Resistance
and
one?
Resistance are basically the
Yeah,
same.
the Resistance.
They are pretty much the same. They're both. Well,
Well,
just
we'll
keep
come
them
to
in the
the
same
yeah.
order.
We'll keep it. We'll come to that later. Okay, so the Imperial one. I think some of the jet troopers are really good. I think some of the more default ones are really like for those I would think high B low C or sorry low B high C. Definitely step up over the Wookie Warrior, but I feel like they fit in B pretty well. I know Calvin, you really like aerials a lot, but guns solid RPG. Some of their RPGs is good. I don't know if this is. Does this one have an RPG? Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm blank.
they're pretty much all the same
Okay,
except for the
because
Jet Trooper.
the thing is like the RPG kind of stinks though because it doesn't really have splash damage. So it's like only worth one kill. Um,
I
yeah,
think the more I think bad, I was gonna say B, but honestly, he's just kind of a C. I
yeah.
think he's better than Wookiee Warrior, definitely, but he's
hmm
just I just don't.
All right, next up we got the Arc Trooper. When I first played, I didn't really like the Arc Trooper, but he's really grown on me. I like how you can use the more ranged one than the one with the faster fire rate. His bomb's kind of useless,
Is
but
there a good reason to not always have faster fire rate equipped?
yeah, I always use the faster fire rate
Yeah,
personally,
it
but
just is
Because like he
better.
has his secondary fire for like really long range.
I still
Yeah.
think he's probably more of a B because he's kind of like he's still pretty good. Like his gun, it's nice. You
I
can
think
handle. You can
he's
do pretty well.
mm, I think
He's
he's
just
pretty fun to
really
play
good.
as, but I think he's a high B.
Just B.
What do you think, Brendan?
He really is.
I'd agree with that. I mean, I
Mhm.
would probably have a better input if I played as him more, because I would almost always take a Commando over him, and then the aerial.
He's just not a very attractive offer.
hmm So next up we got the clone aerial. So he's very similar, except he has sort of like a fast firing pistol, while the Imperial has like an A has like I think
E11.
yeah E11. I think this guy's I don't know. I mean
I think he's A. I mean, like before
A
the First
really.
Order trooper became the Jet Trooper, he was. I mean, he was the best rocket trooper in the game. Now he's just like the best rocket trooper, excluding Jet Trooper. I think, because his gun is just really good. I mean, it's the only. There isn't that much to look at for the aerials because they always have two moves taken up, and he has his rocket launcher. I mean, like actually, the moves are all the same, and the rocket launcher is usually pretty good. It's just his gun is just really nice. Like at range, it's still good somehow,
Mhm.
even though it's just a pistol and it just does so
Yeah,
much damage.
generally I much prefer like assault rifles, but this pistol's actually pretty dang solid. I'm thinking I
Come
still
on,
kind
come
of
on,
think of B, but what do you think,
come on,
Brendan?
Um, I'm not a good person. I'm really in between right now.
come
Uh,
on, come on.
I mean, I like if we're gonna go. I don't know. I was kind of leaning towards A at first,
Come
but
on.
I mean,
Come.
mm,
we'll do A. We'll do A.
Whoa,
All right.
whoa, 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 whoa! That's what I'm talking about.
All right. So we have the Rebel Trooper here, who is
Rebel.
I think yeah, I think so. That's the Rebel Trooper.
no, it's
Yeah.
wait, yeah,
Wait,
it's
no, that's the
Rebel.
Resistance.
Wait,
Wait.
is it?
No, I think
They're basically the same. It doesn't matter.
yeah, they are.
Yeah, we could just do both of them now.
I think yeah, sure. So I think these guys are pretty similar to the Imperials. I might prefer them slightly, but I don't. I think they're both C tier, honestly.
Yeah, they're just Bs. I mean, they're pretty much just like the standard for a rocket trooper. They're just okay.
We thinking C or B?
I'd say C for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure. I mean, I was thinking B as the
I'm
standard.
thinking high C. All right,
Yeah.
next up we got the Sith Trooper, who, in my opinion, is
Clearly D tier.
no, in my opinion, this guy is the best in the game. I know Calvin, I think, might disagree with that, but
Definitely could be. It's definitely one of the contenders, and it's definitely easily an S tier.
yes, no, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, no, I don't think we even need to explain ourselves that much. You
Yeah,
know,
his
their
grenade is
blaster's
really good.
his grenade is insane. His buildability's solid. The charge is helpful at times. The secondary fire is good. Yeah, no, he's just like amazing.
KFX Spy is weird, not that bad, just really
Yeah.
not great.
Um,
I mean, he's good on outside maps.
yeah, no, the
That's
orbital strike is great, but basically
It's
ineffective or straight
also
up ineffective indoors.
exactly.
I like his automatic pistol. That's kind of neat. Yeah, I mean he's not that
The melee's not great. It's
yeah.
just I think B is fair.
Yeah, I think B. Next up we got is this
Is that
the
that's the battle droid, super battle
Yeah.
droid, not the rocket one.
Okay, wait, this one.
That's the rocket droid. Over there
Okay,
on the
this
right.
is the super battle droid.
Yep.
I think the super battle droid's kind of underrated. I really like it.
I don't love it, but it's still good.
I'm thinking A
I'd
or B
say
for these guys.
same. High B, low A.
I think A, honestly, but
Give it an A.
yeah, no, they're good.
He feels kind of clunky because his like for both rocket troopers, their dodge literally almost doesn't move them at all, so it's kind of just useless, and it's just kind of is not great. But he's still strong. He's still got some good moves. Still fine.
All right, next up we got the Jet Trooper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
That is okay. This guy, I think we can all agree, is easily the best aerial. I think he's fantastic. He's got the actual jetpack like Boba Fett. He's got the grenade launcher. He's just so good in my opinion. I'm
And
thinking
he can
S.
actually, yeah, he can also
S or
actually
A.
aim when he flies, unlike Boba
Yeah,
Fett.
I'm thinking S or A for him.
I'd say S.
Okay, I've
Calvin.
just confirmed. S.
Okay.
Because yeah, it just gives the aerial so much more chutzpah. Also, I just checked the Resistance rocket trooper is the one on the left, and the Rebel one is the one on the right. Right.
All right. Next up, we got this lady.
The
The
Ovation or Ovacine, however you want to pronounce it.
the gunner.
You probably remember this is the same species as that famous appearance of Bulio in episode 9. You probably don't remember him.
Bulio.
Yeah, he was actually voiced by Mark Hamill, but that's not going to make him memorable because you don't see him for more than 10 seconds.
I like the goofy appearance, but that doesn't really matter. I think that this used to be a really, really great reinforcement, and they still are pretty great, but they really dramatically increased the wind-up time, for their minigun. So you definitely have to be more precautious, which I think is probably a good nerf, honestly, in my opinion. But I think.
They have.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, they have their tackle if you get into like a or a charge.
Their tackle is kind of OP, honestly. But A or B? What you guys think? Or S or C or D? I don't know.
Because they're still good, but they're just not great. Like they're left vulnerable a lot of the time, and they just don't have. They're just okay.
All
they're
right,
still good, but they're still outmatched.
Next up, we got S tier. No, I'm just kidding. These are awful. Yeah, no,
they're also way overpriced.
They're 2,000. They're more expensive than the Sith Trooper.
Yeah.
They also suck.
They're horrible. I mean, this is my fault, but just like when I played as them at first, I didn't realize that if you just hip fire, it just auto aims. I was like, this sucks. It takes so long to charge. I mean, sure, it does damage, but if you miss it, it's game over. No, I mean, like, it's still okay to even like your hip fire and it still works. It's just really not. It's not fun. It's just not good to do.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that.
I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
They can be used, but like, you really got to know what you're doing with them.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, you really don't want to.
Yeah, no, I literally never play as these guys because they're just so lame.
What about an Ewok hunt?
Yeah, I mean, this guy's funny. All right, so next up we got the Flame Trooper. Uh,
posing for some reason.
huh?
He's doing the T pose or A pose.
Similar to Droidica, I'd say these guys are extremely situational,
Mm.
but when they're in the right situation, they tear.
Yeah, they're definitely like even in like co-op when they're just computers, they're still powerful because they just have a lot of health. I mean, they get more
Yeah.
health in co-op, but they're just a good
And
tank.
it's hard to break through, the flames
Yeah.
without taking a good bit of damage. I'm thinking B.
I'm thinking B because
Yeah.
like it's still like it's kind of tough, but it's also just pretty easy to deal with
Mhm.
him if you're. It's like it's just situational, and that's just not good for a character.
All right. Next up, we got the Clone Commando.
That is not a clone commander.
Oh, I'm an idiot. This is the
Come on.
oh, come on, what's it called? Come on, what is it
You can
called?
do it. We believe in you.
Come on, you got this.
Oh my god, the separatist something? Uh, I don't know. I'm sorry.
This guy, it doesn't even matter. The BX, that's not important. Just the commando droid.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
This guy.
All right. No, these guys are really good.
Yeah,
I'm thinking A or S.
their gun is kind of not good. It's just kind of dinky. It's kind
Mhm.
Their
of,
vibros.
but it's still good enough.
Back in
Yeah,
the day, I
vibros are
played
pretty
these a
good.
lot, and I don't like them as much as I used to, but I still think they're good. And I'm thinking these top two tiers. They're not really
I think so.
they're not really my personal preference, honestly. So,
I'd say A.
all right, next up,
Death Trooper.
Death Trooper.
Death Trooper
Uh,
S tier. This is
yeah,
one of the few other contenders for best reinforcement in
yeah.
the
I think
game.
it's between really these two,
Yeah,
honestly.
pretty much.
Um,
Like they're just so powerful. Just on their own, they're just an unstoppable force for good. Like just their gun, it's just so good. And then you buff it with overload, boom, you get your health. You can't move that much, but it doesn't even matter. You're just
yeah,
so powerful. The grenade is pretty solid. Not really as good as the Sith
yeah,
Troopers, but still great. You can still one
yeah.
shot people if you get the next shot.
No, I definitely agree. I think those are really good. Yeah, I don't think there's much to discuss here. I think it's an easy S in my opinion.
Yeah.
Next up we've got the
This is the rocket droid. I mean, what?
rocket
No,
droid.
this is the rocket clone.
Funny. Um, these
I think
guys
probably
are
both of us.
pretty. These guys are pretty similar to the clone one.
Yeah, they're still pretty good. They still have the
Yeah,
problem is they're still slow for an aerial, especially, but they
yeah.
still
I'm
they're done
thinking
pretty
A or
good.
B, but
I'd say B.
I was gonna say A, but then I realized not really. Still more of just an A. They don't really have that much to bring to the table.
yeah. And last but not least, we have the ISB agent. I haven't played
They're not
these
the
guys.
least, but
Yeah,
they're
I
not
used
very
them
good.
once.
They're like they've got pretty. They're kind of similar to the ARC Trooper, except not as good. Their guns not very good. They don't have like the fast fire. They're just their main kind of draw is they have special melee. It's like combat trading, so they'll instead of just like punching you, they'll do like this fast like boom boom. They'll even do a sweep the leg if you do the combo enough. And that's pretty fun, and it's kind of cool to like just run around and do like no shooting and just punch everyone. But it's still not very good. It's still like it's just like B tier.
C or D or B.
I think B or C because they're
I'd
still
say
all right, but they're really just not dangerous.
I think they're C. What about you, Brendan?
same. Because, I mean, their blaster, I mean, it's functional. It's not great. Their biggest draw is their melee, and you need to be close for that, obviously.
This
Yeah,
is
that's
the Ewok Hunter and the um, Wookie Warrior are like the three that I basically never play.
yeah, they're the worst in the game. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the one thing I'll note is that the First Order has by far the best
Exactly.
reinforcements. Yeah. The clones have pretty good ones too. But yeah,
It's
no.
also I mean the Empire doesn't have the best, but still in comparison to the Rebellion with by far the worst, they're also wreck them. So when you're playing those modes, it's always just kind of annoying if you're on the Rebels or Resistance because you just have a disadvantage. It's not insurmountable, but it's just annoying.
No, I'd say the Empire is definitely better than the Rebels, though.
Oh yeah, for
Because they
sure. I'm
have
just saying.
they have the Death Trooper, but the
The highest Rebel reinforcement is what the Jet Troop or the Rocket Trooper. Yeah, C, cool.
Yeah, no, those are bad.
Picking the only D tier.
So
Ooh,
I think this is the list.
you
Yeah.
think this is the list?
Are there any edits
Unless
we
they
want to
have
make?
more.
Or yeah, do we have any last thoughts?
I'm pretty satisfied with that.
I yeah.
Maybe we should put the
Wait.
Commando droid in S. Maybe.
I mean, I don't know.
I do kind of want to put the ARC Trooper in A.
I
But
kind of want to put the Wookiee in D.
really,
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's do all of it. Switch it all up.
I I have a hard time justifying putting the Wookie Warrior
Spending
in
like
A, honestly.
spending 1,000 points to have nothing
Yeah.
added to how we're really gonna play.
Just save up for Chewbacca. No one will be playing as him anyway.
Outro time. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Hit the notification bell. More tier lists on the way. We'll be doing blasters next. That might take a little longer because we actually have to make the list. Um. The yeah. Yeah. Wait. Check out the streams. Twitch.tv so Battlefront Buddies. There's only a good about section. I don't know. Watch some other videos. That's all I have to say. Hope you agree.
Yep. All right. Bye.